They endeavored to undermine my career, oblivious to the fact that I held the power of their paychecks in my hands. Stay close, for what began as treachery evolved into the most formidable display of power. If tales of subtle retribution and relentless triumph captivate you, be sure to press that subscribe button. Wealth may not purchase joy, yet it can certainly finance the most exquisite retribution, particularly when your dysfunctional family remains oblivious to the fact that you possess a staggering fortune of $500 million. Last month, I discovered this lesson the hard way, as my own parents and brother attempted to undermine my career, unaware that they were actually aiming at the owner of the company. I'm Melissa Tran, but in the realm of business, I am known as Mel. I am proud to now role as the Chief Strategy Officer at Everland Dynamics, an innovative biotech company located in Seattle. What my family remains unaware of is that 2 months prior, I ascended to the role of majority owner of the company, having skillfully acquired shares through a series of discrete transactions facilitated by a private trust. The journey to this moment began almost 18 years ago, when I was a reserved scholarship student immersed in the study of biomedical engineering at Georgia Tech. In the meantime, my younger brother Ryan glided effortlessly through Stanford, all thanks to our parents covering the expenses. Mom always said that Ryan needs support. Your independence has always shown through, Mel. The independent chose not to cover it. I balanced lab work, tutoring positions, and coding side projects to make ends meet. In the meantime, Ryan reveled in his European getaway, sharing with pride each wine tasting and yacht party he attended. Yet, I remained steadfast, attentive. A vision danced in my mind, and I was certain that, in time, it would all come to fruition. And it indeed came to pass. By the age of 30, I had successfully launched and sold 2 biotech startups. In silence, I withheld my name from press releases, channeled profits through faceless entities, and allowed the world to perceive me as merely another mid-level executive toiling away. What is the reason behind all this secrecy? For I understood the way in which money tainted connections. My parents had always revered Ryan's secure position in corporate sales, while regarding my endeavors as mere delicate experiments. You ought to have a word with Ryan, Mom would suggest during dinner. He possesses the ability to guide you into the realm of genuine business endeavors. I allowed them to think that I required assistance. I found myself in need of them. In the meantime, I was orchestrating my grand design, a discreet acquisition of Everland Dynamics, where I had been laboring in silence for just over a year. The company, though underestimated, brimmed with potential. Through a carefully crafted network of trusts and entities, I quietly seized control, all while remaining unnoticed. When the board appointed me as CSO, they believed they were bringing on a devoted strategist. Unbeknownst to them, they were bestowing the seat upon its new owner. What was Ryan's response? One might describe it as utterly delightful. "Must be nice to finally catch a break," Ryan remarked with a smirk at our monthly family dinner. "I trust you're managing, but I hope the waters aren't too deep for you. Corporate leadership presents a unique challenge, distinct from the nuances of experimenting with scientific endeavors." Mother and father shared a look of unease. "Perhaps Ryan could offer you some guidance," Mom suggested with a touch of encouragement. "He's been leading teams for many years, my dear." I offered a courteous smile, stifling a chuckle. If they only understood the secrets hidden within the acquisition papers secured in my home safe. "I will remember that," I replied with a sense of composure. Yet Ryan found no satisfaction in mere smug remarks. My promotion had disrupted the established hierarchy within the family. He had always been the shining star, the dependable one with a traditional path, while I remained the reserved outsider who never truly belonged. The initial warning sign appeared when he started making unannounced visits to Everland Dynamics for informal lunches with the heads of departments. From my office window, I observed him bantering with the senior staff, pretending to care for his beleaguered sister, all the while subtly searching for any hint of vulnerability in my leadership. Subsequently, the whispers of anonymous tips reached the ears of HR. Allegations of forged degrees, and whispers of exaggerated qualifications, all unfounded and readily debunked. Yet, they conveyed a distinct message. There was an attempt to bring about my downfall. "I'm just worried about you," Ryan said gently when I confronted him. "You're familiar with the experience. In today's landscape, it seems that tech companies are advancing women at an accelerated pace. We must strive to achieve those diversity metrics. I would deeply regret witnessing your downfall before an audit. I allowed him to continue his excavation, intrigued by the depths to which he would venture. The response came in yesterday, presented in a sealed envelope to the board of directors. Within the confines of the folder lay a meticulously crafted dossier, brimming with counterfeit bank statements, manipulated emails, and a timeline designed to cast me as a deceiver. Misappropriation of funds, clandestine stock manipulation, and deceptive documentation. It unfolded as a brilliant display of deceitful artistry. An emergency meeting has been summoned by the board for Friday morning. Ryan seemed to radiate a certain brightness at dinner last night, as if the whispers of his office had reached him, filling him with an undeniable energy. The board desires my presence tomorrow, he declared with a flourish. It seems that a significant shift is on the horizon at the highest levels. Mom and Dad radiated pride, oblivious to the irony of my exclusion from this enigmatic gathering concerning my own employment. Little do they realize that I devoted the previous night to crafting a dossier of my own. Each act of manipulation, every deceit, every insidious whisper campaign, meticulously recorded. This time, I will unveil the genuine ownership structure of Everland Dynamics. At last the truth will be unveiled tomorrow, revealing who truly holds the reins of power. If you believe Ryan is going to escape unscathed, you may want to consider hitting that subscribe button, for it is in the unfolding of events that everything transforms. Anger should be my companion. It stings to think that my own brother sought to obliterate my career, that my parents enthusiastically confirmed their attendance at my professional execution. Yet, as I sit here in my home office, encircled by printouts of counterfeit bank statements and fabricated email trails, an unexpected sense of calm washes over me. Ryan's scheme, as convoluted as it may be, provided me with the ideal platform. An extraordinary opportunity to face not just his treachery, but a lifetime of being undervalued, ignored, and disregarded. At times, the most satisfying form of retribution lies in allowing others to think they have triumphed, right up to the instant they come to understand they were never truly in command. The board meeting is scheduled to commence promptly at 9 a.m. My family will arrive under the impression that they are about to witness my demise. Instead, they are about to discover the folly of underestimating the silent figure in the shadows. Particularly when she commands the room, the elements are aligned, the stage is set, and for the first time in my life, I find myself genuinely anticipating a gathering. Arriving at Everland Dynamics early that Friday, I was eager to witness the show. At precisely 8:45 a.m., Ryan made his entrance into the lobby, exuding confidence in his finest suit. Mom and Dad followed in their attire, a facade of triumph that felt unearned. "Is the board prepared for our arrival?" Ryan inquired at the front desk, a barely contained excitement radiating from him. His expression brought to mind the moment he inadvertently erased my science project in 8th grade, just hours before the deadline. From my office above, I observed as they were led to the executive conference room. The board arrived shortly thereafter, their expressions grave and their lips sealed, precisely as directed. All had been privy to my private message the previous night. At precisely 9 a.m., I slid my chair back, inhaled deeply, and made my way down the corridor. It is time to embark on this journey. As I stepped into the room, Marcus Chen, our board chair, was speaking, his words hanging in the air. "The accusations leveled against Ms. Tran carry significant weight." "Apologies for my tardiness," I remarked cheerfully, settling into my chair at the table. Ryan's head snapped up, a flicker of confusion dancing behind his self-satisfied grin. "Mel, this is a closed session. You weren't invited," he said, his tone cutting through the air as he cast a wary glance at the directors. With a serene demeanor, I folded my hands. In truth, I took the initiative to invite myself. Conducting a board meeting in the absence of the company's owner presents quite a challenge. The stillness was exquisite. Ryan's jaw fell open in astonishment. Mother's eyes fluttered in quick succession. Dad wore an expression as if he had just consumed a lemon in one gulp. "What are you referring to?" Ryan stammered. "Everland Dynamics is under the ownership of its shareholders." "It's a public company," Ryan scoffed, grasping tightly to his delusion of authority. "Correction," I stated, gesturing to my assistant Layla, who moved forward to hand out folders to each person gathered around the table. Everland Dynamics existed as a publicly traded entity until 2 months prior, when it was discreetly acquired by Trans Strategic Holdings. Care to take a guess at who possesses that? I observed the moment understanding spread throughout the boardroom. The director's eyes grew wide as they turned the pages, each revelation unfolding before them. Whispers circulated regarding the enigmatic private trust orchestrating the buyout, yet the identity of the new owner remained shrouded in secrecy. Up to this moment, this is absolutely unbelievable, Ryan stammered. It is beyond your means. You're merely a lab enthusiast? As a mere coder, I completed the task for him, a smile gracing my lips. Indeed, your point has been reiterated with remarkable clarity time and time again. I glanced over at Layla. Would you be so kind as to play the recordings? She tapped her tablet, and the air was saturated with Ryan's voice, oozing with insincere empathy. In one clip, he remarked, "Honestly, Melissa lacks the qualities of a true leader. She excels in the lab, no doubt. But this position? She is destined to fall heavily." A new recording began to play. Have you observed any discrepancies in the finances of her department? It could merit a more thorough examination. Each whisper, each manipulation, each deceptive clue, recorded and replayed as if part of a flawlessly orchestrated symphony. Ryan felt himself sinking into the depths of his chair, the color ebbing from his face as an unsettling chill enveloped the room. "And then there's this," I remarked, lifting the envelope he had dispatched to the board. The very same, brimming with deceptive assertions and counterfeit papers, an effort to undermine one's character, constructed allegations of financial wrongdoing, deliberate undermining of organizational leadership. Did you genuinely believe that no one would check any of this before proceeding? I was trying to protect the company, Ryan blurted, his voice trembling with emotion. You lack the necessary qualifications. You have never been the one to triumph, to emerge victorious. It was with a hushed voice that I conveyed, you're not the one who deserves to be here. Absolutely not, Ryan. I am the one entitled to unveil your corporate espionage, your manipulation of stock perception, and the perilous lies that jeopardize the company's future. At last, Mom's voice pierced the stillness. Surely you wouldn't bring about the downfall of your own brother, as if he hadn't attempted to destroy mine, I remarked, turning to her. As if you didn't arrive here to witness it unfold. Father lifted a hand, feebly. Our role was simply to stand by Ryan. I interjected. You continued along the familiar path, convinced he was the one deserving of your wager. Then I redirected my gaze to the board. I regret the dramatic flair of this gathering, I remarked, standing once again to confront the board. However, it was essential for everyone present to grasp the full extent of what we are confronting. Mr. Ryan Tran has engaged in numerous grave infractions in his endeavor to undermine my position within this organization. I took a moment, allowing that thought to linger in the atmosphere. His actions have not only aimed at me, they have also laid bare Everland dynamics to potential legal and regulatory peril. Marcus Chen took a moment to clear his throat with deliberate care. How may we assist you, Miss Tran? I settled back into my chair, my hands clasped neatly on the table before me. To begin with, I wish to formally state that the board has thoroughly examined and unequivocally rejected all allegations leveled against me, deeming them categorically false, supported by verified documentation and an internal review. Secondly, I ask that a formal letter be dispatched to Ryan's employer, outlining his misconduct, which encompasses the audio recordings, falsified evidence, and efforts at corporate espionage. This conduct ought to accompany him in his professional journey. You can't, Ryan said, his voice trembling. You will ruin my professional life. The distinction lies in the fact that I possess authentic documents that chronicle the genuine actions you undertook, rather than the fabricated nonsense you dispatched in an attempt to implicate me. I pivoted my gaze toward the board once more. Finally, I wish to formally record that Ryan Tran, along with both of our parents, is permanently prohibited from entering Everland Dynamics property. Any effort to reach out to personnel or disrupt operations will lead to swift legal action. Mel, please, Mom pleaded, mascara running down her cheeks. We are united as one family. A brief, icy laugh escaped my lips. Family stands by one another. Your victories are celebrated by your family. Family does not resort to forgery and deceit simply due to their inability to cope with your achievements. I extracted one last folder, my trump card, $180, 2 years hence. I cast a fleeting look at Dad. I had the means to acquire that golf club membership you desired, to fund every lavish getaway you presented to Ryan as if they were accolades, yet I chose not to. Indeed. They gazed at the figures that dismantled every story they had held onto. I remained silent, observing who would choose to stand by my side when they believed I had nothing to offer. Everyone did not succeed in that test. Ryan's complexion had drained of color. He whispered the words that felt like a dagger to his heart. "You're firing me from my job." "No," I said softly. "Your actions have led to your own dismissal, just as you attempted to do to me. The sole distinction? You indeed committed the act for which you are being blamed." I rose once more, collecting the final remnants of my papers. "This board meeting is adjourned," I stated with clarity. "Marcus, kindly make certain that all documentation is properly filed and safeguarded. Then I face them. Ryan, Mom, Dad, the security team will guide you out." "Wait," Ryan called out, his voice trembling as I approached the door. "Kindly." "I apologize. Jealousy got the better of me. I found it difficult to accept that you were finally surpassing me." His voice trembled. "Surely we can resolve this, can't we? We remain a family." I glanced back one final time. "Are you aware of what sets us apart, Ryan?" He gazed upward, his eyes shimmering with emotion. "In moments when you perceived my struggle, you chose to press me deeper into despair. In moments of triumph, I chose silence, wishing to spare you the discomfort of comparison. I released a breath that distinguishes true success from the mere game you've been engaged in." The ensuing weeks unfolded with intriguing. Ryan found himself without a job. His employer acted swiftly upon reviewing the evidence of his sabotage. News of my triumph at Everland Dynamics spread, and before I knew it, the very country club elite who had once lavished attention on my brother began to inquire about my achievements. Mom and Dad left heartfelt voicemails, filled with emotion. Ryan dispatched heartfelt handwritten apologies. Even his therapist sent a letter detailing that he was putting in the effort. All were archived without a single reply. 3 months later, as I toiled away in the late hours, Lila's voice crackled through the intercom, breaking the solitude of my office. "A visitor has arrived, claiming their purpose is of a personal nature." It was Ryan, yet he was not the refined, self-assured figure I had known in my youth. He appeared more gaunt, more aged. The hair is cropped, the watch understated, and the blazer unadorned. A simple button-down, nestled within a manila envelope. "I'm not staying," he said swiftly, lifting a hand. "I feel compelled to express a thought." He advanced, setting the envelope down on my desk. "This encompasses all that one could desire. Credentials, connections, details I unearthed in my quest to undermine you. I am also dispatching a letter to the board and my previous employer, taking full responsibility for all matters. There are no justifications." I observed him in silence. "Why now?" I finally inquired. "You were right," he said. "I found myself constructing nothing of substance. You did, and I loathed you for it." He began to walk away, but paused, uncertainty flickering in his mind. "I am embarking on a new beginning. A modest startup. Beginner. This time there are no shortcuts to be found. I do not anticipate absolution. Your decision to let me fail imparted lessons far more profound than any assistance our parents provided through shortcuts." He approached the door. "Ryan," I whispered gently. He glanced over his shoulder, a glimmer of hope illuminating his gaze. "Kindly forward your resume to me in a year's time." "Not for a leadership role," I replied softly, "but if you're truly committed to earning your place through hard work, we're always on the lookout for individuals ready to climb the ladder." A solitary tear traced its path down Ryan's cheek, yet he offered a faint nod, steadied himself, and departed in silence. Half a year later, Everland Dynamics has exceeded even my most hopeful expectations. We are crafting transformative biotech innovations, experiencing swift growth, and generating hundreds of new employment opportunities throughout the Pacific Northwest. Something genuine, a timeless essence. Mom and Dad still reach out from time to time, typically when they require assistance or wish to casually mention their CEO daughter at a dinner gathering. I maintain a courteous yet detached demeanor in my interactions. The validation I once yearned for so intensely, it has lost its significance for me. The corner office, once deemed unattainable, now boasts an exquisite view of the Seattle skyline. On certain evenings, I find myself by the window, observing the sun descend behind the mountains, reflecting on family, ambition, and the peculiar strength that comes from being underestimated. Last week, a holiday card arrived from Rye, without remorse or plea, merely a subtle reminder. Your success is a testament to your resilience, achieved not through our support but in spite of our shortcomings. I am in the process of mastering that as well. Perhaps that is the true form of retribution. Silence achieved an irrefutable presence. I appreciate you taking the time to hear my story, for recognizing my existence when so many I cherished could not. I eagerly await your thoughts. Share your thoughts. Share with me your thoughts on what actions you might have taken if you were in my position. Would you have chosen silence, taken a stand earlier, or perhaps you've experienced something akin to this? I've often found myself in the background, the overlooked presence, quietly constructing my path while others basked in the glow of attention. I desire for this space to transcend mere storytelling. May it serve as a gentle reminder that your value does not hinge on the volume of applause you receive. At times, the strength of your silent perseverance speaks volumes. And if you find yourself on your own path at this moment, toiling through late nights, feeling overlooked and underestimated, persevere. Continue to construct your dreams. Allow your achievements to resonate more profoundly than your struggles. Please consider showing your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing, not solely for the forthcoming chapter of my narrative, but for yours as well. For in my journey, one truth has become abundantly clear. Success transcends the need to validate others' doubts. It revolves around the affirmation of your own convictions, a testament to the faith you held all along. What tale do you have to share? I am all ears. I trust the world is ready as well, for this is your moment to shine.